Shaped by Sound is made possible through support from Come Here NC, a program of the North Carolina Arts Council within the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources.
Shaped by Sound.
13 North Carolina artists, their songs, their stories, this stage. Karly, Xandy from Wednesday, thank you so much for being on Shaped by Sound.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Karly, you're from Greensboro. Mm-hmm. Xandy, Asheville.
Yep.
What is it about North Carolina that kind of continues to sort of shape this music that you're making right now or that you've made before?
Being from here is like kind of the most original thing about me. And that's what makes the music good in a way, because I'm writing about this place. And there are other bands that are from here, but not nearly as many as like it would be in bigger cities like that. So I feel like just describing this place where I'm from and know really well is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. Like I would never. And also it's just when you're gone so much touring, coming back to the place where you know, like where my parents live and where the friends, the community that I've made over my whole life is at, I feel like there's nothing that attracts me to anywhere else for that reason. Like, I just don't have that other places. What would you feel like?
What do you think, Xandy?
It's sort of a simple concept, but like every person is a product of their environment. And that context is really important for everyone's lives. And I feel like we're living maybe in a time where like a lot of people feel the need to reject that or like try on like a different city. You're like, there's nothing going on in my hometown, so like I'm getting out of here. But like, I think just embracing that has done so much for your music and our music, and it's the move in a person's life. I think
Definitely for us.
yeah.
Did you all meet in Asheville, right? So you all were living in Asheville. I feel like that's a hyper creative space.
I think the part that was the most supportive to us was there was a venue where both me and Xandy worked, where we could have band practice in the venue. We were seeing new stuff all the time, tore through. We bring up the Mothlight all the time, even though it's like a place that hasn't existed for like 5 years now. But it's just so foundational to like having and just it validated us so much because the adults that ran that place were like, the music is good, like keep playing music. And they kept booking us for shows.
Pepsi can, lying around under a Christmas tree.
Karly, would you say that you're a collector?
1000%. It's kind of like everything in my life is centered around collecting.
In what ways do you collect?
I feel like I am kind of like a memory hoarder. Anything that like helps me remember things. Like I feel like the songs I write are memory hoarding. I hate forgetting stuff that happens. Like I feel like I'm like obsessed with when someone tells me a story, I don't want to just hear it once. I want to know it forever. And so I'll try to like mythologize it in my life some way, or tie it to an object, or write a note somewhere in a notebook. Even if I don't use it in a song, at least it's down somewhere. And then physical objects too. As a kid, I did that a ton with dolls, which is why there's dolls all over the set for our session. And then, a million different things. I think you have to experience certain things in your life to really tune into a sense of empathy that is widespread, and I like to know what makes people that way. And I think those are honestly to maybe improve on myself, but also just to constantly restore my faith maybe in humanity, validate our existence, even though we're kind of like ruining everything.
You feel like by saving something, you're giving it another life in a way?
Ideally, and I'm definitely more attracted to doing that for people whose lives would never be kind of like immortalized in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like people from Greensboro or my friends, you know, like, I mean, I would think everyone wants to have something that lasts, but I don't know, maybe it's just like an obsession with that. I think a lot of the most like beautiful things are trying to conquer these like huge indescribable feelings. I think my approach to doing that is finding portraits of death in really small instances, or big like portraits of scary stuff like that, or small portraits of like love in a, like the example I can think of is an older song of ours, Formula One. Love is going to sleep with the lights on so your partner can like won't bump into something as they walk into the room to go to bed later. There's other examples of that, but just like trying to describe really big things through really small things.
Sweet song is a long con. I drove you to the airport with the e-brake on. Ain't know that wasn't a long time. Had to check back there to make sure you were alive. Angel alarm of an electric car with voices toward me. Sometimes in my head I give up and flip the board completely, but everybody gets along just fine, 'cause the champagne tastes like elderberry wine, and the pink boiled eggs stay float in the brine, 'cause even the best champagne still tastes like elderberry wine. You'll cry commercials at an unbolted leg scraping against the ground, as a telltale world goes around. Rolling up, say it's mostly CBD. Said I wanna have your baby, 'cause I freckle in your town. I find comfort that angels don't give a damn, but everybody gets along just fine, 'cause the champagne tastes like elderberry wine, and the pink boiled eggs stay afloat in the brine, 'cause even the best champagne still tastes like elderberry wine. But everybody gets along just fine, 'cause the champagne tastes like elderberry wine, and your eyes are the green of tornado sky, 'cause even the best champagne still tastes like elderberry wine.
You've also said that your latest album, Bleeds, it's something that you all have been working toward this entire time, that it feels like the most Wednesday album. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that? Maybe both of you, if you could talk about that.
Yeah, do you have something to say first?
I mean, it just feels like, you know, if you're like a stone in like a tumbler in a river or something, it keeps on like refining and the edges get more and more smoothed out. And then like, especially with something as finicky or as subtle as like a band, when you're making music and you're like a collection of people, everybody's got their own like galaxy of self that they're bringing to the table. And but as you go down that path, you have more and more of this collective identity, you know, as a people, as like a unit, as a band, but also that obviously feeds into the music. And just getting more and more comfortable like in the studio and more comfortable with our instrumentation too, just like has really led to Bleeds. And it's, I mean, we're so proud of it. It's really, I was knocked bowled away in the studio when we were like, you know, listening to those back. I just couldn't really believe what we had made, and it felt so much bigger than myself.
Yeah, I think just trying to capture like the like kind of intimacy of our friendship over the years, just from touring together and spending every waking moment together, was really important. And I wanted to like figure out how to put that to sound. I mean, I think this band could not exist as Wednesday. I don't think it could get away with being Wednesday without what Xandy does on the steel. I think his integration of using the lap steel as a feedback-driven shoegazy instrument has completely revitalized like lap steel for a lot of people in a lot of ways. People come up to him all the time saying that they have picked one up and are inspired by his sound. And I think my lyrics like are a similar thing people point to, and it's a very specific thing I do. But I think at the end of the day, sonically, it's Xandy.
I think that's really generous of you, but I was going to say that, I mean, your songs like are the absolute nuclear core of our music, and they just are getting astronomically good. I mean, they've always been good, but like you are, I feel like as a writer, just on top of the world in terms of your craft with this last album. And I was really sort of shaken by some of the songs you brought to the studio when it was time to make the album.
Scratch off ticket for the education lottery. Found him drowned in the creek. Face was puffy. They hung his dirty jersey up in a trophy case next to his girlfriend in a picture with a varsity fit. Wound up here by holding on. Your physisphere gathered like a moth. Wound up here by holding on. Wound up here by holding on. Started
like to ask folks, in what ways are you shaped by sound?
For some reason, the thing that brings up for me is when I was, of course, I'm like addicted to talking about when I was a kid. Maybe I should be like psychoanalyzed or something, but I have this really strong memory of like the first time I was affected by music. I was in a post office with my mom, and we were waiting in line, and Voices Carry by Till Tuesday played on the radio, and I just remember being like, the world stopped, and I was like, what is this? And I had no way to look it up. I didn't have access to the internet. And then luckily it's a popular enough song. I heard it on the radio 10 or 15 years later.
Yeah.
And I was like, I immediately was brought back to that instance. And I just think music has that beautiful power.
Totally.
In the same way like a certain smell does.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like such a thing really as like a musically minded person. I think we all have that sort of common thread in us, but like, yeah, something about like being a kid and the way songs were affecting me too. It's like a few months ago, I was taking a drive with a buddy, and he put on the Lego Island video game soundtrack, like
Yeah.
the old PC game.
Yeah.
And it was just like shook me to my core, because I was like, I know every corner of every song from this because I was so obsessed with that game when I was a tiny kid.
Wow.
It's just crazy how much even today, 28 years later, like it is lodged in my brain. And I haven't thought about that for decades. And it's just like, I don't know, like we are so shaped by sound in these like mysterious ways though, that's like, I can't even begin to understand.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't until like COVID that I realized how much like I was like, if there's ever like a zombie apocalypse and I can't like play a show with my band, I'm like, whatever the like cyanide pill is, like I'll probably, because that's what makes my life worth living. I love making music. I love playing music to people. I think it informs it's why I wake up in the morning. So I'm like, if I literally don't have that, I'm good. Like, I don't know. I don't need to like, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it. And this has been awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Knocking on that screen door, even though I can see right through, feels like I'm almost good enough to know you. Oversold myself on the night we met. I'm not as entertaining as you might have thought I was then, and I'm scared to death. There's women less spoiled by your knowing, newer and much sweeter, many much more patient, with much more than I can give. You have seen me angry. No, it's not been easy, and I know it can't always be. That's the way love goes.
Thanks for joining us on Shaped by Sound. If you'd like to hear more of our discussion from today, you can find it over on our website at pbsnc.org/shapedbysound. Or you can find them on our PBS North Carolina YouTube channel.
Cracked my tooth on a cough drop. Winter stuck around after it's gone. Grocery store on Christmas. Parked too close to someone to get out.
Shaped by Sound is made possible through support from Come Here NC, a program of the North Carolina Arts Council within the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources.